Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Battle of Ontario Hockey Podcast, featuring a Senators fan and a Leafs fan. We're here to talk about your two favorite teams, the rest of the NHL, local hockey, hockey all around the world, and to bring back memories from your favorite hockey teams and players. If you love the Leafs, Sens, B-Sens, NHL, or any other hockey, including the late Belleville Bulls, you are going to want to tune into our podcast. The gloves are off, the buckets are spinning, let's get the chirps flying. Welcome to the Boo Club! Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Battle of Ontario Hockey Podcast with Broke and Flem. Flem, how are you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, Broke. Pretty happy the Leafs took 5 of 6 points against your Senators there this week. So happy about that. Yeah, ready to move on to bigger and better things, I guess, now.
Oh, yeah. Well, Monday night you could be confident about, but that was big for our Sens. And then Wednesday, obviously, that could have gone either way, buddy. 2-1, Toronto scores halfway through the third period. And then obviously Thursday was a little bit of a blowout. Ottawa's goaltending just simply didn't show up. But yeah, Toronto's on fire, aren't they, buddy? Lots to talk about with the Leafs.
Oh yeah,
they are on fire.
So yeah,
Matt Matthews probably. I think I've got to give you some props where they're due right now, buddy. I mean, you're talking about how Matthews is the MVP of the league. I'm not going to say he's the MVP of the league. I will say this. If he keeps his pace up, and all of a sudden he's 10, 15 goals ahead of the next guy by the end of the season in a 56-game season, you have a case. Right now, you still probably have a case. I still think McDavid's run it. It still has it. Look at the points he's put up.
Yeah.
And the other thing we have to consider here, buddy, is a lot of the other teams haven't played near as many games. So, like Colorado, I think they played like 7, 8 less games. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, they were kind of. They were kind of.
Oh, that's tough to. Yeah, and a lot of the teams in the States have been. So it's tough to look at numbers and then compare them right now. But having said that, Matthews is on fire.
Yeah, but when you look at his numbers too, he's got 16 goals. The next closest guy in the league's got 12. So it's not like he's ahead by 1 goal or something like that. He's kind of running away with it right now. Like if he keeps this pace up, he's really on the pace for 50 and 56 games. So even less because he sat out a couple games. So yeah, he's on fire right now. He's hard to stop. When a goal scorer like that gets going, it's just you just gotta kind of hang on and hope you can limit him to 1 every night, kind of thing. It almost seems it's an automatic. He's getting a goal every night right now.
And I'll tell you, one guy who hasn't, like, obviously everybody talks about Jumbo Joe and all this stuff, but Jumbo Joe missed a few games, and I watch him, and sometimes he looks really good. Sometimes he looks like he fits in that line. Other times I think he's a step behind. So it's, but the other guy who doesn't get enough credit is Marner, and Marner is playing really good hockey, probably the best hockey I think too right now for him. Like the plays he's setting up, the plays he's making, and then you get Matthews the puck, and it's like it's in the back of the net every time, it seems.
It almost looks like those two are just playing pond hockey sometimes. They almost look like the Sedins back when they were in their prime, right? Like they just kind of know where each other are going to be at all time. Like, what was that Matthews goal? I think it was the 3rd goal of the game against Ottawa, where Marner just kind of passed it behind his back, behind the net. Matthew just whips it out front, almost a little mini wraparound, but he just gets it in so quick. They're really starting to feed
Murray had no idea. Murray thought it was coming out the other way.
Yeah, no, they're really starting to feed off each other, and as they keep going, that's going to be a dangerous line, especially with, I don't know. I do agree Thornton is a step slow on that line sometimes, but he does complement them a little bit, and if Thornton can't get the job done when Hyman gets back from injury, that's a guy they can always throw back up there. Speaking of Hyman, he's got to be one of the more underrated players in the league, I think. Like he adds so much to that team. I'm really curious to see how the Leafs play tonight without Hyman going against Montreal's big defense, but we'll get to that later, I guess.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I've always liked Hyman. I like the guys that put in the extra effort and the grindier guys. He kind of plays a little bit of a Gallagher from Montreal style as well.
Yeah.
So I think he's a great player. And what he does for that line is he goes and gets them the puck. He goes and forechecks. He creates these turnovers, and then when they get it, they take care of business. Is what's kind of happening. So
yeah,
Leafs are on fire. I can't deny it. I mean, everybody knows I'm not a Leaf fan, but they are on fire. And when things are going well, things are going in the net. Pucks are going in the net. And they're getting saves by goalies for the most part. I know Monday night was a little bit of an off game. But Wednesday night was right back at it, only allowed 1 goal. And Hutchinson didn't play too bad on Thursday, to be honest. I know he allowed 3 goals, but Ottawa had a lot of shots.
Ottawa also had four posts they didn't count. Like obviously don't count as shots in fourth or third period. So I thought he made some bigger saves. I think it got a little out of hand compared to the Wednesday night because there was a lot more offense for both teams, right? Compared to Wednesday night. Wednesday night was a real tight checking game. So there's a little bit of open ice.
I think everything went completely right for Toronto on Thursday. I mean, that's the first time we've been going to Hutchinson since he's came in. So the backup goalie gets the win. Nylander and Tavares both get on the board. They've both been in a big goal drought. That whole second line has been clicking, but it's nice to see those two get back on the board, give them a little confidence. And it was point night Thursday night. Everyone was going for their apples, and it was nice to see everyone. Hopefully, they built some confidence going into this. They got a tough trip coming up. They're going to, I think they play Montreal twice, and then they're going out west and they play Edmonton a couple times and back to Calgary. So it's going to be a tough couple weeks coming up for the Leafs.
So did you see what happened there? So they're trying to get Tavares going. So he actually threw, Keith threw, I believe it was Marner out there to try and get Tavares and basically said, like, go make some plays and get him a goal. Yeah. And the goal Tavares got, like, there's no way that should ever go in.
That was pathetic. Oh, my God.
We were chirping Hogberg before. He was almost backing up, twisting from the blue line, right at the blue line, shooting it, and he's middle of the blue line, and there's no screen.
And just a wrist shot,
that can't go in. But anyways, he scored it. It went in. So it wasn't hard or nothing. So anyways, that's what happens when things are going right. That's what happens. Goals like that are going in. You're getting, like, there was a couple on Murray through the arm that night as well that probably should have been stops. One was on Matthews, and I can't remember who the other one was. Marner made one hell of a play though. That was a nice goal. And I think he bid on Mike Riley. Kind of did like a backhand toe drag around him and then just roofed it. Like, and the corner was like that, and he's right. That was a hell of a goal. So that kid's rocking too. So my sons don't play tonight, but we got a big game. It's Montreal and Toronto tonight. Seems like there's been a lot of these games on Saturday nights.
Yeah, so we're gonna get.
It should be a good test, buddy.
Sounds like Freddie Anderson against Carey Price. So I'm really curious to see how this is going to play out. It's tricky without Hyman and Simmons, I guess, in there against that big defense of Montreal. I just might have to be one of those games where Leafs run and gun a little more instead of grind it out, because they have been grinding out a little bit lately, which is a new thing for Leafs fans. So we'll see how they do going. I think are they in Montreal tonight or are they at Toronto? I don't even know off the top of my head. Looks like they're at Montreal. They're at Montreal. So all right, let's transition off the Leafs and Sens and let's go to around the league. We got a lot happening this week. I guess let's touch on this first, Brokey, because this kind of relates to you. The Brampton Beast holds their ECHL affiliate in Brampton, the ECHL team for Ottawa. So do you have any scoop on what's going on there? And let's chat about that to start.
Well, I don't think there's much scoop to know what's going on there. The thing is it's like when COVID hits these small businesses, and when you got an East Coast team, these are small businesses, and they had some grants and stuff for maybe 10, 20K. 10, 20K isn't going to do anything for a company like that, because that's basically what it is. It's a business, right?
Yeah.
So these guys probably struggled more than any team in that league as well. I actually went with Eamon to watch Andrew Courtney, who was our last guest. I'm going to say probably 6 years ago. He was playing for Missouri, and they were playing in Brampton. So we went to one or two of their games. I can't remember. And they were lucky if there was 1,000 people there. And this was a Saturday night. And they had always struggled. And don't forget, Brampton lost their team back to North Bay in the OHL. I think it's a big city, but where a lot of these big cities, they don't have the small city feel.
Yeah.
Like a Belleville, a Kingston, a Peterborough, where everybody goes to the game, right? So you got 10 times the amount of people, but nobody goes. You know what I mean? So I think it's very tough for that market to have, and especially pro, like we say, it's tough to connect sometimes to pro teams. We even see it here a little bit in Belleville. They're doing okay, but they're definitely not as bad as 1,000 a game. But and then of course, you lose the end of last year, and then you lose this full year. That's tough for a business. So now they're probably in debt. They probably owe money. They probably owe league fees. They probably owe players. Where's this money coming from, right? Where at least when it's the Belleville Senators, they're getting help from the NHL. I don't know how much help can trickle down another league, right? Maybe a bit, but obviously not enough. And I don't think they're going to be the only one. That's the sad part about this, guys, is COVID is going to get a lot more businesses and sports in the future. I hope they don't. I hope we can turn it around here, and we are starting to in Ontario anyways, but But that's just a sad thing. There was another local guy who played for Brampton, Chris Auger. If anybody remembers that guy, he played for them as well a few years ago. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that we would know on here, but I'm sure there is. So yeah, I mean, it's tough. I believe it's Rosen that owned him from Kingston. He used to own the Kingston Beast, and he used to own. And that's where the Brampton Beast come in. The Kingston Beast was like a summer team. When I played, I never played summer hockey, but that's what they were. And he also owned the Voyagers when I played junior A.
Yeah.
I think that was his name, Rosen. So if anybody listening, correct us. But anyway, so he bought that team. I think his son is a goalie and was going to play there for a bit. I don't know if he did or not. And then that was a few years ago. So I just think, you know what, money issues. It's as simple as that. Can't afford to go. Going to be too far in debt to start up again. So the only real option is to close up shop, which is unfortunate. So
and also Brampton and that Peel region is one of the hot spots in Ontario, right? So they have a lot of COVID cases right now, and I'm sure they probably weren't getting out of the lockdown or the red zone anytime soon. So like you said, even if they did operate, there would be no fans, and they'd probably be operating at a loss for the majority of the season. And I'm sure he just couldn't sustain it anymore. So that's sad news. You hate to see a hockey team leave a local city, but yeah, it's just. Get out there and support your local teams, guys, your local businesses, and let's try to keep everyone afloat during this COVID. Hope is around the corner. The vaccines are coming out, so yeah, let's get out there, and when we're able to, let's support any way we can. Small businesses, hockey teams. Let's keep sports going.
Yep, exactly, buddy. Exactly. It's a sad day for them, but hopefully maybe they can get another team in another league in the future when things get up going again.
Yeah, so on to some more positive news here. We got a big things happen this weekend. We got the NHL Outdoor Classics happen this week. We got 2 games, Saturday and Sunday. So we got Colorado at Las Vegas, which is going to be a battle of the 2 top teams of the West. So I'm really looking forward to that game. It's kind of a speed versus grinder physical mentality with Colorado and Vegas. And then Sunday we got Boston Bruins, who are honestly one of the hottest teams in the league right now. Boston's playing against Philadelphia. So 2 great games. Looking forward to that. And what a scenic place that's going to be. I'm really looking forward to watching those.
Yeah, the mountains in the background. We had a poster on our Facebook yesterday, and it is beautiful. It's weird. It didn't look as wintry as I thought. I thought that lake would be frozen. There would be a little bit more snow. But anyways, I'm not going to be negative about it. I think it's cool. I think this is a perfect year to do it because you can't have fans anyways, right? Or even in the States, sometimes you can have a little bit. So if you're going to do a little classic game like that, where you're talking about, the scenery, this is the year to do it. So sure. Good on the NHL. I like the idea. I know some people are against it. I like it. I've never been to an outdoor game, even with, when they're in stadiums. I want to go. I'm going to go one game in the future for sure. So I'm definitely going to tune in tomorrow and on Sunday. And having, like you said, these aren't just throw the games together, and sometimes they throw these games together, these outdoor games, and it ends up being a first place team versus a last place team.
Yeah.
And it's not much of a game, or if it is, it's sloppy. But you've got these Vegas and Colorado are 2 top teams from the West, and then you got Philly and Boston. They always battle it out too. So I'm expecting 2 really good, fun hockey games to watch. So it should be interesting, buddy. I like it.
Yeah, for sure. So the 2nd and 3rd place team in the Western Division going at it there with Vegas and Colorado. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. As we go to Boston, Philly, those are 2 of the top teams in the East. And Boston's one of those teams right now that they just can't seem to be stopped. I mean, it's weird. I kind of thought coming into the year that Boston would be a team that struggled, and losing Chara, losing Torrey Krug as well. And Pastrnak was hurt to start the year, but Boston's rolling. They've only lost 3 games all year. And that's going to be a really good battle on Sunday with Boston and Flyers.
Yeah, for sure. I can't wait to watch it. They always seem to play in a lot of afternoon games, which is weird, which is Boston and Philly. So, definitely fun. We'll tune into it, and I guess we'll maybe have a little bit of a recap on Wednesday's episode of how the 2 games went, buddy.
For sure, yeah. One other thing we wanted to get into is some disappointing teams to start the year. As we kind of get to the quarter, closing on the halfway mark of the year, there's some teams that have really disappointed, some teams and players. So do you want to start with one of those, Brokes?
So I'm going to just touch on this. I've got a player and a team. Now, obviously, everyone's going to say, well, you must say you're Ottawa Senators. I'm not. I wish they had more points than they do. Sorry. No doubt, more wins. But I'm not as disappointed because I still see there's potential there. I still see, like Monday night's game, that comeback, that's awesome. They played some other good games. Their goaltending's been awful. But I still see them I still saw them in last place. If you were to give me, before the season, I didn't see them making the playoffs. I know I had friends that told me, they might make the playoffs. I didn't see them that way. I didn't see them ahead of anybody in the Canadian division. So I'm not as disappointed as I am about this other team. The other team is Buffalo Sabres. I'm very disappointed in how how their season has gone. I just think that I thought there was going to be a way better, like a chance to at least make the playoffs. Right now, they're in dead last in that division. I'm just going to pull up their points here, so I have it. So in that division, Buffalo has 10 points in 13 games. They're 4-7-2. I guess they're still not that far out of it, but I don't know. I just feel like they could have been better. Especially like was it 2 games ago? They had 0 shots in the third period. I know we touched on that the other day, but 0 shots in a period when you're down 3-1 going into the game. The third period, I thought that's awful. I think they had like 2 goals in 3 games before that, or 3. I honestly felt like, hey, these guys can make the playoffs. They've got Eichel, they've got Hall, they got Skinner. They got some young players, and they got some big contracts. So it's going to be interesting to see how the year plays out. It is early for them. They've only played 13 games. So maybe they turn it around here. Maybe I'm wrong. But right now, the first 13 games of the season, I'm disappointed in them. And my second one is a player. It's Alexis Lafreniere, the first overall pick. He's only has 1 point in 15 games, and it's a goal. It was a nice goal. Excuse me. It was an overtime, and he has had some chances. But when do you ever, like, no one expects a first overall pick, especially with him. He had some pedigree. They were expecting big things out of him. Maybe not the next Matthews or McDavid, but definitely better praise than other first overall picks. So it's a slow start. I still think he turns it around. I still think he has a great NHL career. We're just pointing out the obvious: slow starts and most disappointing starts to the year. So one goal / 1 point in 15 games. Very disappointing for me. They have him playing with Kakko, I believe, and Kakko's only got, I think, like 2 or 3 points. So I don't know if the Rangers just aren't playing them with good enough players. I don't know if it's the development right now in New York, but definitely things have to change, and they got to get those guys going.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about Lafreniere. I think right now they're starting him out on the third line. He is playing with Kakko, but the problem with the Rangers right now is I think it's, one, their defense. Their defense can't get the puck up to the forwards, and 2, it's their centerman. I mean, when I'm looking at their centerman here, they got Zibanejad on the first line and then Strome on the second line. Between those 2 guys, they got 8 points. So if your centers aren't really driving, it's hard for the wingers to drive a line, really. I mean, your center's got to be the one that's dishing the puck and getting everything off. But with those 2 guys playing like that, it's going to be hard for a kid like Lafreniere to put up many points. And also, I think maybe they got to try to get him in with Panarin. I know they play the same side, but try to get him going, spark that line a little bit, and get the kid some confidence. I mean, they can't drag on forever, right? They can't be halfway through the year and he's got 2 or 3 points. That's for a guy that scores 100 points a year, that could kill his confidence. So the Rangers really got to do a better job of getting him involved and getting him in more of their skilled players too.
And just to touch on that, just looking at stats here, Rangers are only 3 points ahead of Buffalo, but Buffalo has 2 games in hand, so they're almost right around. They're not much farther ahead than Buffalo is right now.
And everyone was expecting the Rangers to take a leap this year too.
Oh, I think so too. I mean, now let's have it said they are in a rebuild, but they're in a farther rebuild than Ottawa is. They've got some top players there, right? So,
oh yeah,
you're talking Panarin, you're talking Zibanejad. Like, those are 2 highly unskilled players. That, I mean, Zibanejad, he doesn't have many points this year, does he? I don't think he's doing
he's only got 4 points, I think.
Oh, if it's that, that's awful for him. Because you know what? The last 3 years, he's
3
been
points.
really good.
3 points in 15 games.
That's awful for him. So there, you know what? There's another disappointing guy. Maybe that's more disappointing than Lafreniere. I didn't even realize that. So that's, to me, that, like, a guy like that, I'm expecting almost a point per game, or just under. Especially the last 3 years or 4 years he's played. I think he's been one hell of a player. So
if you want my most disappointing player of the year, and it's got to be Jeff Skinner from Buffalo. I know you were talking about Buffalo earlier, but
another one.
Skinner has 1 point this year, and the worst part about this, and this is the hardest part in the salary cap era, Skinner is signed for $9 million a year for 7 more seasons. If he doesn't pick it up, that's going to become the worst contract in the league, if it already isn't, and fast too. I mean, you can't pay a guy $9 million and have, a guy like that. You're paying him 9. He's got to be averaging at least a point a game. Skinner's playing on the 4th line right now, so that's the major problem in Buffalo. I think is, they got Eichel, they got Hall, but Skinner's supposed to be that guy to get the second line going or be a complimentary piece. And right now, he's just filling a spot in the lineup. Like, he's borderline going to be a healthy scratch soon. If that's a guy they need to find a way to get going, or that's going to be a horrible contract. And I don't know how Buffalo gets out from it. No one's taking that $9 million off them for 7 more years. That's going to be that could be a real big drag on the franchise moving forward.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. I mean, it's funny how, and it makes sense, but the players we're talking about are on the teams we're disappointed with, right? So maybe if these players can get going, some of these teams are going to get going and put some more points up. And we'll see it. I mean, it is early, especially for these guys. They have played less games than the Canadian division, the North division, due to COVID mostly, right? Missed games and whatnot. So, and it is a funny year. So it'll be interesting to see within another month or two where these guys are at and if these guys can turn it around a little bit. But yeah, we'll have to watch for that. But maybe we'll move forward, buddy.
I just want to say one thing too. Just continuing with Buffalo is what are they going to do with Taylor? If Buffalo keeps struggling, they're not on pace for the playoffs. What are they going to do with Taylor Hall? They brought him in on that 1-year deal. Is that a guy they move at the deadline to try to get some futures for, or is that a guy they hang on to and try to sign? I know I heard some rumors that Buffalo does want to talk with him about a long-term deal. So I'm curious to see if Taylor wants to stay there, and two, if they're looking to move him to a contender to recoup some picks.
Well, the last I heard was the same thing you did, which they do want to sign him. Obviously, that's them thinking, though, that we're going to turn this around and that he is going to do well and he's going to play well with Eichel. And I do see a lot of potential with those two because, I mean, they both are beautiful skaters. Like, they're powerful, right? And they can get down the ice almost as quick as 90% of the league or more maybe. So it'll be interesting to see how the next month or two pans out. But you're right. If all of a sudden they keep up the same pace and he's not putting up big numbers, I mean, how do you sign him? Really? You've already got a guy like Skinner there. That's a big risk. So
that's the problem with signing wingers. That's the problem with signing wingers to big deals like that. Is sometimes if centermen do something, if centermen aren't scoring, they contribute defensively, win faceoffs, and kind of either drive a line a little bit. But wingers can kind of get lost in the shuffles, and on big deal, that's what really is going to sink a team. So, that's a big decision Buffalo has to make here coming up to the trade deadline.
Yeah, so we'll definitely have to watch for that. But yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, it's going to be a different trade deadline, but we'll see what comes up.
Yeah, so let's move on here, bro. So Pay It Forward Sports, we have a very big announcement. We're very proud to announce our first event. And Brooks, do you want to get into this here? And you can start on this.
I will. I'll start on that. So as you can see here, guys, everybody check out my hat. And you can check out my jersey later. But anyways, yeah, we've got a big announcement, guys. So for you guys, our followers here, like we said last week, we have another business or a business that's connected to our podcast in a way. It's called Pay It Forward Sports. We're going to be running sporting events and our sporting tournaments and events. And with COVID, it's obviously going to be a little bit of a slow start getting going. But we can officially announce our first tournament. It's March 27th. At the World Elite Performance Center, which used to be Rhino, in Belleville. So we're going to have a men's 3-on-3 hockey tournament. It's a 1-day tournament. We can't wait to get started. We got a lot of fun things for it. So maybe we'll just get into the details. It's $500 a team. You can have between 6 and 9 players and a goalie. So basically you're going to have 7 to 10 players, I guess. And you can divvy up that $500. So we try to make it as reasonable as we can. It can be $50 a player. Everybody gets guaranteed 3 games. We're going to have prizes. There's the top 2 teams in each division will play in a final. If you make the final, so if you finish first or second, you're going to get a team prize. First is going to get an even better prize. We're going to have games throughout the day. Our podcast is going to go live that day. We can't wait for that. Plus, we've got some special stuff we want to bring with the podcast there. Maybe we'll do some interviews, and we're going to have a ton of fun with it. So we want to run this tournament as professionally as the best as we can. We want to make sure everything runs smoothly. We've got some plans for it. This is our first one, though. And then we're going to plan to do another one maybe in a month or two, another hockey one. And we've got a lot more plans for other ones that will be released in the upcoming months. So we can't wait for it, guys. We already have heard a lot of people want to get in. So I would think that these 8 teams are going to fill up fast. So get us your money, get a hold of us. You can send us an email. You can send it to maybe Fleming, you'll say the email info@payitforwardsports.ca.
Correct. Yeah.
Or Boo Club Hockey. What is it? Boo Club Hockey
at gmail.com.
At gmail.com. That's why.
Yeah. Or you can message Jeff or I on Facebook too. And
Facebook as well. Yeah, and we'll take e-transfers is what we're looking to take, guys. If you want and you want to get in, but you say, hey, listen, I want to collect some money for my guys first, we can do $100 deposit. But that you're going to want to send that as soon as you can. And then, we'll give you a date within the next maybe couple of weeks when it's due, when the 500 is due. So we know you guys are in for sure. We are going to have COVID safety protocols. So we're going to make sure that you get your own dressing room while you're there. You don't have to change it until the final. One team will have to come back after not playing for a couple of hours, and they'll have their own room again. So, yep. You want to
guys, just to touch on that for the COVID precautions. So what we're going to do is we're going to have 8 teams total. 2 groups of 4 are going to play the A, or not the A division, but Group A and Group B. So what we're going to do is Group A is going to play in the morning. You're going to stay in those dressing rooms all day to eliminate any potential risk for COVID. And what's going to happen is you may have to everyone's going to play a back-to-back game as well, just to keep everyone in the same room. So once Group A is done, Group B is going to come in the afternoon, and then the 2 winners from each division are gonna meet up in the finals. And it's going to be a lot of fun, guys. We're really looking forward to it. We do not want to run the your run-of-the-mill tournament kind of thing. Our mission is to make every team and every player happy. We want you guys to feel like professionals when you're at our events. And that's what we're going to do. Like Broke said, we're going to run the podcast live. We'll be doing some interviews if anyone wants. And it's going to be a ton of fun, guys. So reach out to Jeff and I on Facebook, or send us an email at info@payitforwardsports.com. It's going to be a great day, and we're looking forward to launching our first event.
And just a couple of things to go on with that, guys. The bar will be open. There will be pizza, possibly nachos, and some other snacks sold as well throughout the day. So that'll be fun. You can, if you haven't been there, they have windows up top, so you can watch the game while sitting at the bar, having a beverage or two. They have a shooter clinic thing where you can get your highest score. So they have that. Like we said, we are going to have a bunch of prizes. It is going to be a lot of fun that day. And not only that, guys, part of these proceeds is going to go towards getting kids into sports. So part of the profits that we make from our tournaments, every tournament we do, starting with this one, we are going to give back, and we are going to get kids in sports. Now, we don't know when kids are going to be able to get back in sports. It could be this spring. It may not be till fall. Who knows? Either way, our goal doesn't change. When we're able to help with kids getting in sports, that's what we are going to do. So we can't wait to get started.
Yeah, we are working with our partners in the community too, our local organizations, to figure out ways to help as well. So once there's some more firm guidelines on when kind of the spring, summer sports start up, like baseball, soccer, things like that, we will be partnering with our local partners, and we will definitely get as many kids into sports as we can.
Perfect. Okay, guys. So Pay It Forward Sports, anyone can play. If you're listening, make sure you like us on Facebook as well. If you haven't liked Battle of Ontario, give us a like. If you haven't liked Pay It Forward Sports on Facebook, give us a like. And we're going to have more events coming in the next, probably within less than a month. Hey, buddy? We got another tournament we're going to launch probably in another couple of weeks as well. So there's going to be lots of events coming, guys. There's going to be tons coming your way. That's what we're all about. We're all about getting the adults and kids in the future active. And then obviously we want to get kids that can't afford to play a chance to play sports and make it an even playing field.
Yeah. So come on out, guys. Let's have a great time on March 27th. And it's really going to be a good event. So let's transition off something else. We got a new segment here we wanted to start up. It's going to be a segment where Jeff and I act as the GM, and it's going to be you keep one player, you have to trade one player, and you let one guy walk to free agency. So Brokey, maybe I'll let you go first on this since I picked the guys. So
I got to go first, and you pick the guys. Well, that sounds like a Fleming deal.
Yeah, it's a good deal. Anyway, so who are you going to keep, trade, and let walk to free agency? So I think these are 3 pretty similar players. We got Johnny Gaudreau from Calgary, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins from Edmonton, and Brendan Gallagher from the Montreal Canadiens. So, bro, keep, trade, and let walk to free agency. What are you doing?
Now, one question is, what about contracts? Like, I guess there's no playing contracts here. It's all about just the player itself, right?
No, you can play contracts, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I mean, we'd have to dig up the contracts and everything too, right? Mm-hmm. We don't have that off the top of our head. So I got to keep one, trade one, and one I allow to go to free agency. So the player I'm going to keep is Brendan Gallagher. I love Brendan Gallagher. I love the way he plays. And I think come playoff time, he's a performer. He's shown that he can get in the dirty areas, and I think I like him over the other 2. I'm a big Johnny Gaudreau fan too, so I don't know. I feel like there's something more there with Brendan Gallagher. He's not going to go and put up 100 points a season. I'm picking him solely for playoffs. Honestly, that's why I'm picking him. And I mean, I could go either way. This is a tough one, guys. I'm going to go Brendan Gallagher and stir the pot. They play the Leafs tonight. I think Brendan Gallagher is going to put one home. Last time they played the Leafs, what happened? Well, that's right. Brendan Gallagher scored the winning goal. So anyways, guys, Brendan Gallagher is who I'm going to keep. I'm going to trade Johnny Johnny Gaudreau. I'm going to trade him. I think maybe he might have more value than Nugent Hopkins. So I'm going to trade him, see what I can get. Maybe I get another player back. Maybe get some picks. I guess that's not part of this game. But at Nugent Hopkins, I guess I'll have to let you go to free agency.
Oh, some controversial picks there, bro. I think I'm going to go almost the complete opposite from you on this. So Nugent Hopkins here. I'll tell you why. I think because he has the versatility to play center along with wing, I'm going to keep him. I think good teams always have three good centermen, and I think Ryan Nugent-Hopkins slots in as that perfect number 2 or number 3 center. A guy that can put up points, he can check if you need him to, kill penalties. So I'm keeping Nugent-Hopkins. The guy I'm going to trade is Brendan Gallagher, and let me tell you why. I think Gallagher, because of his playoff pedigree, he does have a little more value than Johnny Hockey this moment. So I'm going to take the picks, and I'm going to sell Gallagher's decent contract. I'm going to try to sell high on him. I think he's a guy that he's only going to last so long. He's an undersized guy, and he plays a very physical style game. He's already had a couple season-ending injuries. So Gallagher's one of those guys where he's not really great at any specific thing. He's just kind of a grinder, and he brings into the game. So I'm thinking he may be the one that kind of falls off the fastest out of these three. I just think with his injury history, he's a guy that in 2-3 years he might be one of those forward line guys that just kind of clogging up and blocking young guys. And then I'm going to let go Johnny Hockey. So I think Gaudreau's a good player. I think he's a complementary piece on a good team, but right now, I don't think he brings enough to the table. He's a smaller guy. He doesn't get in there like Gallagher does. He can't play center like Nugent Hopkins can. So I'm going to let Johnny Hockey walk.
Just one question for you. How's Johnny Hockey's season going?
I don't know. How's he doing?
He's having a great season. So
yeah.
So your numbers stuck, buddy. Johnny's off to a great start. So I don't know what you're talking about.
But Calgary's not off to a great start. Calgary's not doing great.
I'm not talking about Calgary. You were talking about a player. We're not talking about his team. Anyways, buddy.
It doesn't matter.
One.
Yeah.
Those are 3 tough ones. They definitely are. One thing we didn't bring into this, at least I don't have the numbers in front of me, is I don't have the contracts or how many years left. I think next time we do this one, we're going to bring the contracts or something like that in.
I think so too. Yeah. I know Gallagher is on a sweet deal, right? So
definitely fun and interesting to see because I mean you might keep a guy because he's worth $5 million rather than keep a guy because he's worth $9 million, even though he's a hair bigger or whatever. That's just an example, guys. But we are trying to have some fun with you and try to get you thinking. Let us know maybe who you guys would take.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, let us know online and let's start a conversation about that. So let's move into our picks tonight for Brokey here. So we got a whole bunch of games starting tonight. So the first game we got is one of the most disappointing teams in the league. The Buffalo Sabres are going to New Jersey. And I think I'm going to take New Jersey in that one. I think it's a low-scoring game, and the Devils squeak one
out. Yeah, I'm kind of torn on that one. I think I'm just going to take the Devils as well. Buffalo just doesn't have anything going right now. They've only got 4 wins. I mean, not that New Jersey has many more. They got 6. I think that one's almost a toss-up game. Go with the home team, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right, next game, we got the Rangers going to Washington. I'm going to take the Capitals this one. I just think they have more skill right now. Ovi and Backstrom are going. Tom Wilson had a couple nice goals the other night, so I'm going to go the Capitals. And, yeah.
I like the Capitals as well. We touched on the Rangers earlier. There's so many players on that team that are underperforming and just aren't getting the job done. And you're looking at high-end players. First overall, Lafreniere, 1 point. I think it was Zibanejad, 3 points or 4 points. Guys like that. You're not putting the puck in the net. Things aren't happening. And Washington is scoring. They're doing pretty good. They're 8-4-3. Things are rolling with them. They know how to win, and they're at home. So for me, I mean, unless you're going to take an upset, I'm taking the Capitals.
Then let's move into the first outdoor game of the weekend. We got the Las Vegas Golden Knights, I guess, going to Colorado. So Colorado's the home team in that game. I'm not sure how the outdoor game is going to play out. Usually a little low scoring because the ice gets a little softer as the game goes on. But I'm going to take Colorado in this one. I think ex-Leaf Nazem Kadri is going to have a big game, and I think he'll put one home. And I think the Avalanche win this 3-2.
Jesus, we are thinking a lot alike today, buddy. I've got Colorado as well. I feel like Colorado has a little bit more to offer, and usually these are low scoring games, but I don't know. I got a feeling about Colorado today. I think McKinnon's going to get things going. Maybe Rantanen and and like you say, Kadri. They got lots of depth on that team. I think that they are even better than they're showing this year. Although they are playing Vegas, and Vegas is they're 10-3-1, so they've got a good start this year. That could be another toss-up, guys. Really, don't take this one for betting, but I like the Colorado pick.
Yeah. All right. Next game we got the red-hot Florida Panthers, one of the most surprising teams in the league, actually. Only lost 2 games all year. So Florida is playing Detroit tonight. And I'm going to take Florida. I think this is a pretty easy pick. I'm looking at Alex Barkov as one of the most underrated players in the league right now. A really great first-line center on a good deal. And I think Florida's going to steamroll Detroit tonight.
So Florida played Detroit last night. They won 7-2. Typically, guys in the NHL this year, it seems like that second game is the hardest game to win. But Florida has seemed to have Detroit's number this year. I think they've played them like 5 times already, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. And I don't think they've lost yet. So I'm just going to rock with the Florida train. Looking at how I've done a lot of my picks this year, a lot of times I'll take the second team that lost the first night or two, even if it's 2 nights ago, but they're playing back-to-backs again. I'll usually take that other team because that seems to be happening more often. Although I'm shying away from Detroit, I just don't think they have enough this year, and Florida has their number.
Yep. So let's go on to the Los Angeles Kings are going to the Arizona Coyotes. And this one, I'm going to take the Coyotes. I think they've been they've been a surprising team this year too. Clayton Keller's going up front, Phil Kessel. So yeah, I'm going Arizona.
Are we picking all the same teams, buddy? I've got Arizona as well. Another toss-up. We got a 7-6-3 team. I feel like Los Angeles kind of surprises me here. Sometimes I watch them and I'm going, oh, I like what I see. And other times I think, holy geez, they're not there yet. They're still rebuilding. And then Arizona is kind of the same thing. Like, can Kessel get it going there? I don't know. Arizona's at home. This one, if I'm betting, I'm staying away from this game as well. I mean, I feel like this game could be like a 2-1 game, and then I feel like maybe it's a 4-5-2 game. So I don't know. I don't like to bet on this game, but I'm just going to take the home team.
Yeah. All right, who do we got next here? Let's take a look. We got
Islanders are at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so Islanders at Pittsburgh here. Like I said, I think these 2 teams played last Saturday too. I said these are the 2 teams that just always confuse me. And I took the Islanders on last Saturday they won, so I'm going to take the Islanders again. I think the Islanders win 4-3.
I've bet against the Islanders like 3 times on this show, and they always win. It seems like when I bet against them on Saturdays,
go with Sidney Crosby.
So I'm going with the Islanders this time. So I mean, we haven't had one different pick yet. So this is a fun game, Fleming.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm going with the Islanders just because every time I bet against them, I lose, and that's why I'm down a couple games against Fleming. So I'm taking the Islanders.
And judging by our record in our other league we got going on there, Brooks, if you're tailing our picks, they're probably gonna be bad tonight. Like, we're probably going under 500, I bet. So.
I was 500 last week, and I had 3 overtime wins. So
yeah,
we'll see. Last week was a tough one, though. Not many people did well on Saturday.
Yeah.
But okay, Nashville at Columbus.
Yeah, Nashville's been one of the more disappointing teams this year. It's weird to see, like, they're a team you kind of think might be a Stanley Cup contender, but 6-10, second last place in that Central Division. And I'm gonna bet on Nashville to bounce back tonight. I think they've lost 2 in a row. I'm going to take the Predators.
That's not a bad one, buddy. But I'm going to take Columbus. Columbus is doing okay this year. They're 8-6-4. I feel like when they play tough games, they're a tough team to play against. They don't usually get blown out, or they don't usually have a lot of blowouts. Usually tight games. I think tonight is going to be a tight game. I think it could be a 2-1, 3-2 game. And I'm going to go against you just because we got to have one here anyways. Yeah. I'm going to take Columbus.
It's weird because we're usually never on the same page either, right?
So today we're on the same page. It's weird.
Yeah. So next game we got the San Jose Sharks going to the Blues. This one's pretty easy for me. I'm gonna take the Blues. I just think they're a better team. San Jose's in the middle of that rebuild, so I'm taking St. Louis.
Yeah, how do you go against the Blues? I mean, San Jose's in that rebuild, and you got guys like Carlson who just aren't doing much. I mean, you never know. They could have a breakout game, but I like St. Louis. I think they're definitely a team that could go to the Cup and win the Cup again this year. They're definitely probably one of those top 5-6 teams in the league, I think anyway. So when they're playing against a team like San Jose, to me, it's a no-brainer. I'm going to go with St. Louis.
Yeah. And we got the defending Stanley Cup champions, the Tampa Bay Lightning, visiting the Carolina Hurricanes, who are red hot as well. Carolina's actually ahead in the standings here. But I don't know. Every time I seem to bet with Tampa Bay, they lose as well. But I'm going to take them again. I don't know why. I just think Brayden Point's one of the best players in the league, and I think they get it done tonight.
I'm going to take Tampa Bay as well, and I'll tell you why. It's very simple. Here's my philosophy on it. Carolina played last night. Yeah. Carolina played last night against Chicago. Yeah, they won 5-3, but they played last night. Tampa Bay's ready there, ready to go. They've got rest. And I think come the second, and especially in the third period, they might have some more legs. I do think it's going to be a really good game to watch, though. They are 2 great teams. Carolina's doing better than I thought they would this year. Not that I thought they would be that bad, but I definitely didn't think they'd get off to 11-3-1 start. So good on Carolina. But I am going to take Tampa Bay tonight for a simple reason that Carolina played last night, and I think that could be an advantage.
All right, so we probably have the closest game of the night next, and I know we're probably going to make opposite picks on this one. So it's the Toronto Maple Leafs visiting the Montreal Canadiens. I'm going the Leafs right now. They're red hot. Austin Matthews, not one of the best player in the league, and I think Matthews puts up a couple tonight against Carey Price, and the Leafs win by more than one goal too.
Oh, really? I'm gonna have to jump on that bet, buddy. I think I might this team right here. What do you guys think? Ole, 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 ole. How do you like my jersey today, Flem?
That's pretty sharp. I don't mind it.
Ottawa's lost last couple to Toronto, and they don't play tonight. So I got this nice sweater. It's like a sweater jersey. I don't know if you can see it, but anyways, I thought, you know what? I might as well rock it. I never wear this. I bought it about 10 years ago, so I'm going to take a have a 10, and they're going to smoke them. Who won last Saturday? Wasn't it Montreal? Oh, that's right. Yeah, I won that game.
Yeah.
So they're going to do it again, buddy. And Gallagher, my player that I took over Johnny Hockey and Nugent Hopkins is going to get another goal tonight, I think. I think Matthews has an off night. He's getting too cocky. No, I honestly don't know about Matthews, but I think against Carey Price, Price is one hell of a goalie, and when he's on, he's the best goalie in the league. So
do you still like Carey Price best goalie in the league?
When he's on.
Yeah. I still think he is. I don't know. If I was starting a team, and you gave me the pick of the litter of all the goalies, I'd take Carey Price. There's no question about it. I think he's got a big game pedigree, and he's just so calm and net. Good puck handler. I would take Price for sure.
Well, for me, it depends. Are you starting a team as far as you're able to pick kind of everybody, or you're rebuilding? If I'm rebuilding, I'm probably not going to go with Carey Price for the sake of by the time 3-4 years rolls down the road, he's that much older. But if I'm just doing an all-star
one game, game 7 Stanley Cup, take whoever you want.
Yeah. Oh, then in that case, I would go with Price myself. Yeah. I mean, there is other goalies out there, but how do you turn down Price?
Yeah. All right, let's go to Minnesota's going to Anaheim tonight to play the Ducks. I'm going to take Minnesota in this one. I just think Minnesota's just a better team. They got a really good defense there in Minnesota, and I think they'll probably squeak this one out 3-2, 4-2, something like that, maybe 3-1.
I'm going to take Anaheim just for the sake that we've had 100 picks and they're all the same. This one's another toss-up. I do kind of feel that Minnesota could get it going, but I could also feel that maybe Anaheim squeaks out like a 3-2 win. They're not that bad this year. They're 2 games under 500, and they are at home. Minnesota's only a 1 game above 500. I think it's going to be a tough matchup. I think Minnesota, I actually predicted them to be doing a little bit better this year. Guys like Parise just aren't putting the numbers up that they used to. And we'll see if the Ducks can get rolling tonight. So I'll go with the Ducks.
And the last game of the night, we got two teams that played each other last night as well. So these two teams are coming off a back-to-back. We got Johnny Hockey and the Calgary Flames playing Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and the Edmonton Oilers. This is why don't you go first on this one, Brooks? I haven't decided on this one yet.
I'm going Calgary. Edmonton won last night. Calgary's going to come out with bursting flames, and isn't that a good one? Calgary Flames are going to come out bursting in flames because they lost last night. I think they're now 500. Edmonton's ahead of them in the standings, and I believe it's going to be these two teams playing for the 4th place seed. That's my opinion, and I think tonight will be a good game. I think it's being back-to-back 2 nights in a row. I think Calgary does squeak it out, though.
Yeah, I do think these are going to be the 2 teams battling for that last playoff spot or the 3rd and 4th spot in the North Division. But I'm going to go Edmonton. Edmonton's 8-2 in their last 10 games, so they are on a big heater right now. Calgary is struggling. They've lost 2 in a row, and I think they've lost 3 of their last 4. So that's a team I'm looking to fade right now. I don't know if they I don't know what they got in the tank. They got a lot of controversy. Sam Bennett got benched for the whole 3rd period last night, a guy on the trade block. So maybe a little bit of a friction in the room there. And I'm going to take Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers.
All right, guys. Well, there's our picks for tonight. Be sure to watch the Montreal Canadiens smoke the Toronto Maple Leafs as usual. And rest of Brokey's picks. He's going to go, 12-0 tonight?
Yeah, I bet. Want to bet on that one or no?
Well, if I go 12-0, that means you've got a pretty good one, too, because we had about 9 the same. So, yeah. Okay, guys. Another thing we have is we have our second guest coming this Wednesday. We've already pre-taped the show. Should we let it out or should we wait?
Let's tease a little bit longer. I think
let's tease a little longer. Okay,
yeah.
we're gonna release a clip later today. So even in but just before maybe the Leaf game or something like that, we're gonna release a clip from the interview. It was a hilarious interview, guys. I think you're really gonna enjoy it. He's got lots of stories, and we're just getting started. We've already talked with him, and we are planning to have him back, possibly have him back with one of his line mates when he played here in Belleville. So there could be 4 of us on the next show. Maybe that'll be a month or 2 down the road, but it'll be a ton of fun. So Wednesday's podcast, I believe this was episode 8, right? So that'll be episode 9. Wednesday's podcast, episode 9, Battle of Ontario. It's going to be a ton of fun. You're going to have to look out for it, and check back on our Facebook page and our YouTube page later tonight, right before the Leafs Montreal game, and we're gonna release a clip from that interview.
Yeah, guys, it was a great interview. So we'll release a clip. Tune into the whole thing, though. It's packed with laughs and good stories, and lots of things relating to Belleville and the city and the Belleville Bulls. So you guys will love that for sure.
Yeah, we told you guys we wanted to get some ex-Belleville Bulls on here. I know there's a lot of people around Belleville that miss the Bulls. The Sens are clicking as much as they were as the Bulls did. Obviously, the Bulls were here a lot longer, a junior team, and this guy is going to be one of the best. He was one of the best. He played for them. He had, I think, close to 100 points one year, and he's a storyteller, and he's got some funny sayings, and you guys are really going to enjoy it. So we hope you enjoy it. What else you got for us, buddy?
I think we want to do a new segment where are they now, and we're going to talk about ex-Belleville Bull player, just kind of give you a little summary about their careers and where they are now. So one guy we decided to talk about today, just because he did come up on our interview that we're talking about on Wednesday, is ex-Belleville Bull Nate Robinson. Nate was known for his blazing speed and led the OHL in points in 2001-2002 season. He's the 11th highest scorer all time in Belleville Bulls history, and he was a part of one of the most dynamic lines the Bulls have ever seen on that RNR line when they won the OHL championship. Nate was a highly touted prospect coming out of junior, but unfortunately he only got to play 7 games in the NHL. He played 5 with Detroit and 2 with Boston before ending his career in North America and going to play over in Europe. So Nate has played in 9 different pro leagues in Europe, and last year he finished in the Tier 3 league in Germany. We do believe, we do have it on a good authority that he is running a hockey school overseas there as well to help out there. So it's good to see a guy like Nate Robinson. Like, he's getting up there, still playing, still grinding out, still making a living, doing what he loves to do. And a great Belleville Bulls and lots of great memories about Nate Robinson.
Now, do you have Nate's age? He's got to be around 40?
I don't have his age off the top of my head. No.
Got to be early 40s.
Yeah, I think he's early 40s for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So good for him. Good for and Nate was one of those players back in the Bulls days where when you went and watched him play, he got the puck on that one. He got the puck on the snake and the deal was, we had season tickets, so did you growing up, and there was 2 players I can remember doing that for, and it's Richard Park and Nate Robinson. They're both just flying down the wing, and they were a ton of fun to watch. So it's great to look back at memories like that. And Nate was a great guy. He lived across the Souls house, Tyler Soul and Cindy Soul's house, as a kid. That's where he built it. I remember trying to get him to play road hockey one couple of times. I think he came out once, but it's tough when you're busy in a schedule like the Bulls did back in the day. So
you brought up a great guy. You brought up an ex-Bull too, Richard Park. I got a funny story about Richard Park. So his sister used to sit right below us when we had season tickets, and he was one of those guys. He was always a smaller guy, right? And he'd always take a little bit of abuse. And my old man, he would just kind of, especially then, old school hockey, rah rah rah, slash someone in the face, spear them, something like that. So his sister would never lean back and talk to us, though. Like, I think we were pretty loud. But anyway, one time she kind of leans over and says, he's getting abused too much. Like, what does he have to do to stop making this happen? My dad says, tell your brother, next time someone fucking touches him, just to cross-check him right in the face. See what happens. Word will get around the league. It'll never happen to him again. So sure enough, next Saturday night, I think the Bulls are playing Oshawa, and Richard Park just cross-checked some guy right in the face, kicked out of the game. Next Wednesday, his sister comes back and says, oh, thanks for that advice. He loved it so much, and apparently it helped me. He didn't take as much abuse moving forward. So yeah.
Big Billy. Hey, Billy. So I was talking with your dad the other day. I forgot to mention this. So you know what his prediction is?
What?
He told me his prediction is Ottawa's going to finish ahead of Vancouver. So there you go, Billy. That's Billy's prediction. Maybe Billy and Broke will get on the same team. We'll call it BBs. Yeah. Shout out to Billy, Brennan's dad. longtime Belleville Bull fan and Belleville Bull season ticket holder, and I believe he's been with the Belleville Sens as well, right?
So, yeah, he's a season ticket holder with Sens too. Yeah, he doesn't miss too many games. So
he does. He's one of those guys that loves to support local hockey in the area, no matter what the team is. So we need to get more of those people out. And we're the people you're the type of people we love to listen from and hear the stories from. And we're going to have a ton more stories about the Belleville Bulls, not only this Wednesday, but more to come.
For sure, yeah. So I don't know if we got anything else I don't think we got any else thing going, bro. Or no?
That's all I got on the ticker today, bud. So maybe we just tell everybody about the tournament again. So we have our first 3-on-3 tournament. It's at World Elite Performance Center. It's the X-Rhino in the old Zellers. It's March 27th. That's a Saturday. We're looking for 8 teams. You can have between 7 to 10 players, including a goalie. The cost is $500 per team. And to get in, you can either pay the $500 up front or you pay $100 deposit. And within a week or two, you're going to have to get the rest in. So we'll give you some time to collect off your teammates there. And we're going to have some sweet prizes. First and second, automatically you're going to get a prize. And there's going to be some other prizes, maybe some 50-50. There's the bars open. There's going to be some food. There's going to be a shooter-tutor clinic, like, you get timed and you get points and all that stuff. That's a ton of fun. And there might even be some more stuff. The Boo Club's going to be there. We're going to be doing our podcast live that day. Maybe we'll have some guests on. And we're going to be doing some interviews from the tournament. So if you score a beautiful goal, maybe we'll interview you. We'll also be going live, and we might actually show some clips, or if there's any penalty shots, big games like that, or even part of the final. So it's going to be a ton of fun. We can't wait to get it started. And remember, part of your proceeds do go to getting kids in sports. So look forward to that.
Yeah, so we are going to make a big contribution to the Pay It Forward Sports Sons with any of the proceeds from the tournament. And we are going to get some kids into sport coming up, and it's going to be a great time, guys. So we did kind of release it a little bit last night online, and I've got at least 10 or 12 messages from people saying they're interested. So if you want to get in, let us know quick. And I think spots are going to fill up very quick for this. So send us an email at payitforward or info@payitforwardsports.ca, and we'll give you all the details. We'll give you the rules, the waiver form to sign, and it's going to be a great time, March 27th, guys.
Now I just have one question for you, Fleming.
What?
Are you in?
I'm in.
The Boo Club.